George Ramsey, I want to take the opportunity to welcome you to A Legacy of Soul. It's truly a blessing to have you here at birthplace here in the Eastern Market in Detroit.
Yeah, it's great being here, and I certainly appreciate having an opportunity to share memories and thoughts with you and your audience, of course.
George, can we talk about your history in entertainment, and then I'd like to get into your Facebook post where you talk about your memoir.
Right. Yeah, well, again, I'm very unique, and not unique, I guess, but certainly in my lifetime, having been born in Detroit, I grew up in a very musical background. In the neighborhood, my neighbors, the fellow that lived upstairs over me, he was an older guy than obviously I was. When I was in my elementary school, he was played in a very unique band at Miller High School. His name was Andrew Harkness. He played trumpet for Spirits of Swing. I think that was the name of the band back there in Miller High School. But also I had neighbors, 3 neighbors of mine on the block on Warren Avenue, which I lived on between Hastings and Brevard. They were recording artists. One recorded, he was a jazz pianist named Will Davis, very popular. He played with Charlie Parker, and another fellow, pianist, was Floyd Taylor. Floyd was a boogie-woogie pianist, and he played on a song, a very popular dance song in 1949 in Detroit called Do the Hucklebuck. And then across down the street from Floyd, there lived another recording artist. His name was Oliver Green. Mr. Green sang with a gospel group called the Detroiters. So all while I was growing up, I was around all of this music floating back and forth in my life, and it just desire made me to want to pursue music at some degree. So I was in my elementary and high school band. I played in my band. I sung in the choir. And so I just grew up in that environment because music was all around me.
George, in reference to your memoir that you have posted on Facebook, what was the purpose of that? And tell me, how did you select the artists?
Well, I didn't select the artists selected me. Because again, I gravitated toward coming out of the neighborhood. I came out doing the 40s and 50s growing up in Detroit. It was very vibrant, and a lot of music always. A lot of dancing, a lot of singing, and I lived a couple blocks from a venue that was very popular in Detroit. It's called the Warfield Theater. It was very, all the major artists, rock and roll artists or whatever, blues artists, were performing there at the Warfield Theater, and I sang in a group that was growing up in my high school years. We performed at the Warfield Theater, which was the venue where you saw artists like Louis John, Jackie Wilson, and on and on and on. So I just grew up, I was captivated by the audience by the community that I was a part of.
George, I think it's just amazing, but just the other day, I was watching a local TV show, and they was interviewing a white guy from England that's telling our story, and that's hosting a lot of entertainers who went over to Europe, went to England, and they are big fans over there, who just love them, but they say that they don't get any love here in this country. Do you see that to be true?
Well, yeah, that's the phenomenon. It's kind of like you have to leave the farm to go off, and that was true. It was always true, certainly in Detroit. Detroit artists growing up performing here in Detroit, but once they left, went to New York and came back, they came back with a different attitude about themselves. They felt that they again, just feel that you accepted outside of your community, that elevates you, I think, artistically.
Okay. Once again, the purpose of Legacy of Soul is for us to tell our story, and I'm glad that I have you here today to do that. But just, do you know why that we have so many other people who just like telling our story more so than us?
Because see, we take our talent for granted, and other folks marvel at it, and that's just truly how it is. And again, like I said, England as a country, as a community, they were the one that made black music, if you will, as popular and worldly accepted as it became. Because when artists, there are many artists that go back to Second World War, Josephine Baker, and these folks had to leave America to be accepted. And this is true with blues artists, jazz artists. They left America because they were openly accepted in England and France and places of that nature when they were discriminated against and ignored here in America.
You know, it's just amazing because I was watching the documentary where I saw that they showed where the black soldiers who were performing for the military took jazz overseas and exposed it to them, and then it just blew up. So it wasn't just the popular artists, it was just soldiers.
Exactly right. And this is what I often tell folks. What liberated blacks in America was the Second World War. You know, one of the greatest liberators in my estimation was Adolf Hitler. When he declared war, they enabled blacks to move outside of America in a lot of ways. You know, they armed us, you know, and we also were able to express and share our talents in regards to other folks that would marvel at it.
So what is it that we need to do today to keep our legacy alive?
Just continue to support the growth of, we're seeing it happening out in Hollywood. Seeing it, there's a growth of a lot of black movies that have been produced, themes that have, our stories have never been told. Just recently there was a movie, what was called Hidden Figures.
Yes.
About, you know, and so there's a lot of stories. When you go back into the history of inventions that came out of America, going all the way back to the cotton gin, if you will, you know, our presence is what stimulated the growth of America, culturally, artistically, and in every other way, I think. You know.
Okay, George, I'm gonna wrap on this. When I was in high school, I noticed that one of the janitors at my school were the musicians for a lot of popular artists. And many of those musicians, they died poor. Why?
Because again, you know, unlike now, years ago, the industry was controlled by thieves, if you will, you know, by slicksters, and they would lock you down with a contract, and that way they take your money and say, take me to court, and you spend 20 years trying to get money back then. So consequently, it became something that we could not depend on. Artists could not depend on the talents they had to get the job as janitors, as cooks, or working in the factories, rather than being able to sustain their growth off of their talents, the money derived from their talents, because it was we were exploited in every way possible. They were exploited in every way possible.
George Ramsey, can you give me some closing comments as we close out this segment?
Well, the only thing I can say is that be strong and be firm in the fact that we are we are the mechanism that drove the culture in America, and be mindful of that, and do not be running from our history. You know, embrace it.
George Ramsey, thank you for being on Legacy of Soul.
My pleasure.